Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. A few housekeeping reminders. There is no school this Friday, so there are only 4 math assignments up for the week, 4 problem sets, and there are only 4 ReadWorks articles assigned for this week because we only have 4 days of school. This is our last problem set focusing on area and perimeter. After this, we're going to begin to review topics that we still need additional practice with. Let's take a look at our first problem. It says, Kyle puts 2 rectangles together to make the L-shaped figure below. He measures some, and I see that some word and I know that means he didn't do all of them, some of the lengths and records them as shown. Find the perimeter of Kyle's shape. So here we have an irregular shape. It is a compound shape, a shape made from combining 2, which we know from right here, 2. So I need to split them off. This is where I have options. I can either split it this way, or I can split it this way. I'm inclined to split it this way because I already have both my measurements for this side. I know this is 8, therefore I'm going to make like a little thing to keep that separate. If this side is 8, this side must be 8. If this side is 6, this side must be 6. I had everything I needed for my small shape, so I just wanted to go ahead and split it like that. If it works better for you to split it the other way and have it be a long rectangle this way, do that. As long as your end results for your perimeter and your area are the same, it doesn't matter where you split them. Now, I'm going to go and I'm going to tackle my big shape right here. So if this side is 12, this entire side, top to bottom, must also be 12. So 12 and 12. I have to figure out my missing length. Blah. This is my width. What am I saying? I need to find my missing length. So I know this whole thing combined was 16. This whole long area. I had 16. And I used 8 of my 16 inches right here. I had 16, I used 8. That means I have 8 left. You subtract 16, or excuse me, you subtract the 8 from the 16. Why are we doing that? Because those inches were used. Instead of thinking of inches for a minute, think of if we measured in Skittles. So we laid out 16 Skittles along the bottom of this shape right here. And then we said, hey, this part of the shape takes up 8 of those Skittles. And those 8 Skittles are now gone. We cannot touch them. That means that I would have 8 of them remaining on this side. Let's look at part A. It says, find the perimeter of Kyle's shape. So we want to go and we want to use our grouping to add this up because we're going to end up with quite a few numbers here and that can be overwhelming for us. So I'm going to combine and do my doubles whenever possible. I'm going to start with 12 and 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. Oops. And I started with a parentheses instead of writing my 12. 12 plus 12. So I know this is 24. Plus 8 and 8. That's 16. I have another set of 8 and 8. So I'm just going to put those right here next to each other. I have 8 and 8 again, another 16. I'm just here above them. I'm showing where I've gotten my numbers from. So here's where I got my 24. Here are my 2 16s, and then I have 6 and 6. Which is 12. This is how I have made all my numbers. Now I need to come and I need to combine. So let's see here. I'm going to combine my 16 and my 16. And I'm just going to use this space off to the side for my work. Because here we've got quite a few numbers to deal with. If you are able to go ahead and do this big string and you feel comfortable with doing 4 numbers all together, go for it. If you do not feel comfortable with that, here's a strategy for it. So I'm going to do my 24 and my 12 and my 16 and my 16. And then I'm going to combine what I've got. So here's my 24 and my 12. Here's my 16 and my 16. I'm going to fix that 1 because it didn't look very much like a 1. There we go. All right, 2 and 4 is 6. 1 and 2 is 3. 6 and 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 is 2, and 1 more is 3. So now we have 36 plus 32. I'm going to erase and then combine. Now you might have enough room to do all of this without having to erase my writing, as we know is giant, and I just cannot do that. I need all the space in the world. All right, 6 and 2 is 8, and 3 and 3 is 6. So the perimeter would be 68 inches. Remember, perimeter is just regular, they're measured in regular inches, regular meters, regular feet. We don't make them square feet. Part B asks us to find the area of Kyle's shape. So this is where we want to do each area and then add them up. Please don't try to do 12 by 6 or 8 by 16. You're not going to get a correct area that way. You need to find the area for each shape. So that means doing 12 times 8. I know that our 12s are kind of a work in progress because they are bigger. Remember, you can always start at 10 times 8 and then add 2 times 8 to your answer. 12 times 8 is 96. And here we have 8 times 6, which is 48. Now, very important, when you're combining areas, please do not multiply 96 by 48. We want to add these. We are not multiplying 96 by 48. We're going to add them together. Let's do that right here on the side. 96 plus 48. All right, 8 and 6 is 14. 4 and 9 is 13, and then one more is 14. So my total is 144 square inches. I'm going to erase and we're going to move on to part C. Kyle makes 2 copies of the L-shaped figure to create the rectangle below. Find the perimeter, I want my perimeter, of the rectangle. So this is actually very convenient for us because we already know all our side lengths from up top. We know this is 8. We know, let's see, look what he did here. He flipped it upside down. So if this long L thing is 16, this long L thing is 16. If this side is 12, this side has to be 12. If this little piece is 8, that little piece is 8. We got these numbers from our work on part A. It's the same shape, he's just taken another one and he's glued it together. Now we need to go and find our perimeter. I'm going to combine my sides so that I'm dealing with one number here instead of dealing with 2. So 8 plus 16 is going to be 24. And now we have 24 plus 24. That's a double. That's the amount of hours in the day. So if there's 24 hours in one day, and then 2 days, there must be 48. And 12 plus 12 is 24. So I'm just going to go and add a 24 to my 48. 4 plus 8 is 12. 2 plus 4 is 6, and one more is 7. So our perimeter is 72 inches. If you are having questions about where I got this, I'm going to go over this again when we have our shorter live meeting today. Remember, today is the day that Miss Erickson is going to have hers at 10 o'clock. So I will post on our roll call what time we're going to have our shorter meeting to have a check-in so that I can still address any questions we have about the problem set. All right, on to problem 2. Hey, Jeremiah, you're in our problem today. Jeremiah and Haley use a piece of rope to mark a square for their booth at the science fair. The area of their space is 49 square feet. I have 2 very important pieces of information. My first piece is that it's a square. My first piece of information is they've marked a square. And when I have a square, square means all sides same. I know that all of my sides are the same. So a number times a number makes 49. If I have been really diligent about memorizing those double sets that I've been talking all year, a number times a number, this answer is going to stand out and it's going to be jumping up and down. If you have not been so diligent about memorizing what a number times a number is, like 8 times 8 and 9 times 9, this is going to be a little more mysterious for you. It says, what is the length of the rope that Jeremiah and Haley use if they leave a 3-foot opening so that they can get in and out of the space? So your first step, what you want to do, is find the sides. So there's only one set of numbers that makes 49. It's not prime because it can be divided by something other than 1. So these 2 numbers would be 7 and 7. But we see that Jeremiah and Haley would actually like to be able to get into their booth. They don't just want to build it. They want a way to get in as well. And they take a 3-foot piece of rope and they say, hey, this is our doorway. We've got to be able to get into our little booth so that we can show our science stuff off. What is the length of the rope that Jeremiah and Haley use if they left that 3-foot opening? We found our sides. We said they're 7 and 7 because those are the only 2 numbers that multiply to make 49. So what I need to do is 7 minus 3, which means this side has a remaining length of 4. What is the length of the rope that they use? So we found the side length. They didn't ask for the side length. They asked for the total length of the rope. Here's like a wonderful cheaty little hint. Whenever you have a problem that asks for the total length of rope or ribbon or fence or wallpaper, I'm trying to think of things that go around things, they are asking you for the perimeter. They're just not using that word. So they want the perimeter of the rope, and they've just been mean and not told us. It's very tempting to say, oh, the length is 4. But they didn't ask for the length of the side of the rope. They asked for the length of the whole rope, which would be the perimeter. So we need to add these up and find what it is. I'm going to count by 7s, and then I'm going to add 4 on. 7, 14, 21, 25. So the perimeter of their shape is 25 because they made this little hole in it. Perimeter is 25 feet. Vivianne draws 4 identical rectangles as shown below to make a new, larger rectangle. The perimeter of one of the small rectangles is 18. I'm going to put that inside there just so I don't forget that and I don't have to look back at my problem for the information. The width is 6. What is the perimeter of the new, larger rectangle? So, it is very tempting to go and label all your sides as 6 right now. All of these. Don't do that yet. Let's find what our other side is before we put 6s everywhere. We don't want to have that many numbers on our screen when we're not done. So we have a total perimeter of 18, and we know this side is 6, which means we know this side must also be 6. So that means we have 18, and we have accounted for 12 of the centimeters. So I'm going to take those away because here's our mystery, here's our mystery. Those are the numbers we're looking for. So 18 minus 12 is 6. I cannot just put a 6 in here because if I counted 6, 12, 18, 24, my perimeter would be wrong. Also, I would have square. I don't have a square, I have a rectangle. I've got something else going on right here. So I need to go and I need to, divide by 2 because that's the amount of sides that I have. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now let's go and let's check our math. 6 and 3 is 9. 9 and 6 is 15. And 15 and 3 more is 18. So now we can go and we can label all of our sides. Important note, don't label the internal sides right here. This is going to be really tempting. Don't do that. The only labels go on the outside edges. Now, I know that somebody is going to ask me, Miss Hagelberger, how can this side be 3 and that side be 6 when this side is longer than that side? To which I say, guys, I think that they flip-flopped length and width around, but it's okay because it still adds up all the same way. We know sometimes the book has small typos in it, so it's fine. Don't stress too much about the fact that this number is smaller, but this side is longer. Just roll with it. We know that sometimes the book makes errors. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to combine my sides to have nice, easy numbers and have fewer to deal with, because right now I'm dealing with 2, 4, 6, 8 numbers, and to be honest, I don't want to deal with 8 numbers. Well, I can deal with 4, and it's going to be so much better. All right, 3 and 3, that's 6. And 6 and 6, I'm going to do something funky. I'm putting my equal sign over here just to keep my numbers from piling up on each other. So technically, that's a weird thing to do in math. I just want my numbers off to the side. So I'll go and I'll get rid of these guys so it looks a little better. So I'm dealing with 6 and 6 and 12 and 12. I want the perimeter, which means I need to add these up. So 6 and 6, I know those double. I'm putting my parentheses here just to keep my numbers separate. Nothing fancy going on. I'm just getting a lot of numbers in one space. So 6 and 6 is 12. I've doubled my 6 to get the 12. Now I need to double my 12. 12 plus 12 is 24. And 12 plus 24 is, not that number, there we go, 36 centimeters. They're not square centimeters because we are looking for perimeter. We are not looking for area. I can't talk today, guys. Oh my gosh. We have one problem left underneath, so I'm going to erase and I'm going to come down to it. A jogging path on the outside edges of a rectangular playground. All right, here's my rectangle. Measures 48 yards by 52 yards. Maya runs 3.5 laps on the jogging path. Oh my gosh, the fractions are back again. So don't get freaked out by this. There's actually a very easy way to do this, okay? So first things first, I'm going to go and I'm going to find the perimeter of my shape because she's going along the edges. It's the perimeter. So we have 48 and 48, and we have 52 and 52. These are some big numbers. I'm going to show my work, but because we have some more to do after finding the perimeter, I will erase. If you have questions about the doubling process, please let me know on our channel and I'll address them. So I have 48. That was a number, but it wasn't an 8. There we go. So we have 48 plus 48. 8 and 8 is 16. Carry my 1. I end up with 96 because 4 and 4 is 8 and 1 more is 96. And now I'm going to take a look at, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. I wrote 48 there. That's supposed to be 52. I absolutely know that somebody has probably already left me a comment saying, Miss H, you wrote 48 3 times. And you're right, I did. I did indeed. All right, let's do 52 plus 52. Ah! And I just moved my whole screen. How did I even do that? Okay, we're back. The wonders of technology. Sorry, guys. My drawing pad glitched and it was shooting all over my screen. So that is why there was a little pause for a minute. All right, 2 and 2 is 4. 5 and 5 is 10. So we're looking at 104 and we're going to combine it with 96. Why are we doing that? Because we want our perimeter. So 104 plus 96. 6 and 4 is 10. Carry your 1. We have another 10 now. Carry your 1. Now, mine are lined up a little messily because I'm on the computer. This 9 goes in the tens place. It does not go in the hundreds place. So we have a perimeter of 200. Now, this 3.5 is about to look a lot friendlier. So she goes on 3.5 laps. So on her first lap, she would have 200. On her second lap, she would have 400. On her third lap, she would have 600. So 3 laps would be 600. Now we have that half lap. So I need to think about what is half of 200. What number doubles to make 200? I'm going to put my fraction right here, half lap. And half of 200 is 100. So for 3.5 laps, she has run 700 yards. I'm going to put that over here. Well, look at that. You guys just did your very first word problem with finding 3.5 of something, of a whole number. We haven't done that before, and I bet you guys did a totally awesome job with it. You have an exit ticket. Please don't forget your exit ticket.